weeks, and there's a good reason for it. It is a phenomenal movie, and just like just in terms of at least at the very least in terms of a visual and technical craftsman aspect, aspect. But on top of that, there is still there's more to it besides besides the technical aspects to it. It has a has a fantastic cast. I mean, if you've seen the poster, there's like 20 at least somewhat vaguely 20 like big name like actors, both like in terms of like Hollywood or like indie cinema. Um, has it's superbly funny. It's really clever in terms of how in storytelling and in terms of storytelling, telling and being very thematic. And it's just a really clever and really clever and clever and thoroughly imaginative and engaging film. Now, I'll try my best to explain the plot because it is this sort of Marishka Russian sacking egg doll kind of a movie. Because it starts off with this girl reading a book and about an older author telling about his experiences as a younger man, listening to the recollections of this owner of the Grand Budapest Hotel who recollects his time as a lobby boy in the Grand Budapest Hotel, talking about his experiences and his training under the maitre d' at the time, Gustav, Monsieur Gustav, played by Ralph Fiennes, and how he gets caught up in this murder mystery, and he has to. There's this giant caper involved. It crosses romance, slapstick comedy, prison escape, chase scenes, capers, hijinks ensue. It's maddening. And like if you haven't seen Wes Anderson's work, then like I guess like sort of the best way to catch up on it is just find the SNL new horror trailer on YouTube where back last October where they had the video where they made fun of they call it like the sinister intruder of something invaders. I don't remember, but that was a textbook satire on all his works. He uses a lot of the same casting in this movie, in all his movies. That's true in in Grand Budapest. He has a very it's entirely all weird, quirky, eccentric humor and character types. He has he uses a lot of well, like it looks very simple, but when you think about the technical aspects of it, it's really complex. How like a lot of his scenes act very two-dimensionally, so to speak, in terms of his cinematography. There's a lot of horizontal pans or still shots, but they keep moving the camera around, showing different awkward actions, and that's true here. But and SNL satire, I mean, that it gets down to it, but it has good points about Wes Anderson's style. It is very noticeable, but when you see it in the Grand Budapest Hotel, it's just a marvel how much he's like just sort of doing it, how on like the scale he's doing it. It's nonstop. Like again, the number one reason to see this movie is like seeing just the technical and visual marvel that it is. There is an amazing use of just miniatures, cinematography, color, production design, just production and costume design, makeup, props, just everything in that movie it's amazing. Just the hotel itself is an amazing character to look at, and even though you only see like a few rooms, the hallways, these under quarters, and like the lobby, but it's just like a striking design of color and feel to it. Ooh, it's a lot of bright reds versus whites, and like these very lush yellows in the background, contrasting with like the cold tundric weather. If I'm saying that right. this fictional European country, is like Zimborska or something like that. That I forgot to mention, like as part of like one of the main thematic points in this movie. It's the settings in like in terms of like the core story. It's in I think 1940s. It's a sort of a Mariska doll where it sort of jumps back and forth between different time periods. This is in a way that one of the things that, because I think it's sort of a meta commentary that in terms of that storytelling structure. It's kind of a meta commentary on Wes Anderson's like Wes Anderson's like way of writing characters or caricatures. It's a celebration of storytelling about how every they say that right in the front, like almost at the very beginning of the movie. It's like storytellers get their stories from other sources. It's never just pure imagination, but like what does make it imaginative, so to speak, is like the different quirks or details you can emphasize or you notice that maybe some other people don't. It's like Ralph Fiennes in this movie as Gustav. He is fantastic at portraying basically Barney from How I Met Your Mother, so to speak. Like he has this absolutely amazing sense of class and etiquette and just diehard belief into being a maitre d' or like this hotel manager, to be this as he put it. I don't remember the exact line word for word, but like to be like to protect like the last embers of humanity and the savage barbarian nature that is mankind, or something like that. But again, he's like a running joke in this movie is how like a lot of the people that go to the Grand Budapest Hotel, they all come because Gustav's just like this amazing maitre d', but also because he just bangs all the old blonde witch women who he's just sort of cuddles up and sasses to. And it's all seen through it's all like part of the storytelling aspect. It's all being sort of told through the recollections of an older man who, from the point the story is being told, as this very young, romanticized, eager to learn lobby boy played by Tony Ravioli, not Ravioli and not Voltori. I'm sorry I mentioned Twilight in that sentence then. I'm so sorry. But anyway, interestingly enough, like with all that, again, it's about like part of it's like taking telling a true story and just exaggerating the details of it. But like the way he played the Tony or Young Zero plays his part is that he's very much the straight man to Ralph Fiennes' pure sort of confusing but also like sort of mesmerizing insanity. Gustav is always like, okay, go to this store, get this specific type of wine, give the change to the little homeless boy with like a homeless orphan boy with like the broken leg who also shoe signs for a living. Then go up to the room, give me this, also give me my perfume, and then he's like, wait, I have to do this other thing first because you told me to, but and it's just very like you could watch this endless scene after scene of these two going back and forth, or like sort of reacting to each other. Like at one point, Gustav is sent to prison, and they have their own separate adventures. Like Zero has to read this daily sermon that Gustav performs, and it's like, well, you guys better stop eating because he wrote like a 46 stanza poem while he's still sort of playing along, doing his old hotel stick well, not sick, but his duties, even in prison. Like, he's going door to door to all the prisoners in the different cell blocks, saying, "Hey, you want some mash? Here you go. Like, you need a little salt in it, otherwise it actually tastes pretty. So it tastes pretty good, actually." But also, but yeah, it's this great contrast, like how, because in terms of like holding up a image or an ideal of humanity or civility or loyal obligation between one another, versus what all of mankind is up to. Like, again, the setting. I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, but in this fictional setting, it's the country is on the brink of war and being sort of oppressed by fascism. And you have all these different characters having different reactions to it. Like, you have the good guys versus... It's a very, like, clear black and white type movie, so to speak. It's like you have Adrian Brody and Willem Dafoe playing these amazingly ridiculously evil bad guys. It's like Adrian Brody plays the son of the murder victim, and he's trying to get all his get as much of his inheritance as possible, and he keeps accusing Gustav of being the murderer, and he's like, "You fucking faggot! You probably you probably fucked her." It's like, and then they keep punching each other and fighting each other. It's like, "You bisexual," and Gustav's like, "Well, I thought I was a faggot." And it's like, and of course Adrian Brody looks stupid because he doesn't know better. But after being a regular in a lot of Wes Anderson movies, it's a change of pace for him. Willem Dafoe, I think I don't know if he was a new name, because honestly a lot of people work with Wes Anderson nowadays that I can't keep track outside of Jason Schwartzman, who's kind of a bit part in this movie. Tilda Swinton, also kind of a bit part, but she plays, in terms of her character, she's important. And Bill Murray, of course, he's in this movie as the glorious introduction to the Guild of Cross Keys. That was a fantastic visual gag. If you've seen the movie, and you should, but anyway, the core of this, what makes this, I think, to me, stand out amongst a lot of Wes Anderson movies is that it balances the goofy and romantic ideals that, romantic images or themes or caricatures that Wes Anderson usually sort of plays up to. But we also have this very not bittersweet, very nostalgic and very unsure view on human nature in a way. Because, again, with the whole scene about the whole idea of protecting humanity from savagery or barbarianism, and you have in this point, the way the story is told, it's all about we're looking back on the effect of fascism, for example, of how we lose our humanity in our attempt to sort of understand each other, not exactly understand each other, but to sort of protect ourselves or to get our own way, so to speak, if that makes any sense. But it's about, well, again, the core relation of the movie is about holding on to this loyalty, morality, and just having, at least carrying this image of class and sophistication throughout, even amongst sort of the horrors of war, in a way. Wars of horror, humanity, fascism, you name it. But but honestly, that's kind of when you get down to brass tacks. I don't want to spoil any of the bigger jokes in this movie, even though, because again, without spoiling the jokes in this movie beyond some that I already had, it's just it balances the exact tone between goofy and eccentric and so coming from a very real and emotional core. And it's just these bold, gigantic visuals sort of back it up. There's this great these scale models, or these giant prison sets, or these there's this incredible, I thought there was this incredible gunfight at the end of the movie, which just looks really cool and like very evocative. A lot of like older World War II or like standoff type scenes. But just like sort of end before I go into more tangents. Yeah, you should absolutely seek this movie out. It should be coming to a theater near you by this week or the week after that, and it's gonna keep building on and on. And I wouldn't be surprised. If people start talking about this movie by the time, even by the end of the year. Oscar season starts sooner and sooner every year. But again, seek this movie out. It's definitely like it's just a fantastically surreal but also sophisticated adventure, like sort of this giant caper of fun, goofiness, but also this, it comes from a very sophisticated, very well thought out and creative place, and it shows Wes Anderson at the top of his game. Absolutely, you should check it out. It's phenomenal. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned in for this week for reviews of The Muppets Most Wanted and Divergent. And we'll get back to you later. Thanks for watching. See ya.